How people clean, maintain, and store their cast iron is a topic that's been highly debated over the last few years. Um, I'm going to go over my method and what works for me, and then some of the other methods. I like to use a plastic scraper like this. You can buy them pretty cheap online or at like your local convenience store, supermarket like Walmart, and a Scrub Daddy. Now, they're both like a plastic like material that's not going to damage your seasoning. What's neat about the plastic scraper is they have a flat edge for your flat bottom. They have the rounded corners for getting the outside of the pan in those curves. And then there's a curved side for scraping the walls of your skillets. That gets most of your stuck on food residue. Um, and then after rinsing that out, I'll use some Dawn dish soap and I'll scrub it with the Scrub Daddy. And most of the time, that takes care of everything. If you have food that you maybe burned on there or it's really stubborn, it's just not coming off, even with scraping, I like to put a couple inches of hot water in the skillet and let that boil for about 15 or 20 minutes. Allow it to cool and then try scrubbing it off again. And repeat that process as many times as necessary until you get all the food off of there. I don't like to leave any leftover oils, residue, or food on there because I feel like that's just gross and unsanitary. And also, if you leave oils left on there, it can create incomplete seasoning, which is going to disintegrate and break off, and you might get like these little black specks or flakes in your food. But when you dry it with a towel, you'll notice that you're getting like this black residue on the towel or the rag, and you should not be doing that because that's incomplete seasoning or it's leftover burnt food. Some of the other ways that people clean their cast iron include just using hot water. Some people use salt and a potato, but if you ask me, that is just a waste of perfectly good salt in a potato. Using soap is fine. It does not damage your seasoning. Um, I know, like, a long time ago, people would say that soap would disintegrate the seasoning because it has lye in it. Well, soap is made with lye. It was made then and it's used now. Lye is also known as sodium hydroxide. When that reacts with cooking fats or animal fats, what that creates is the byproduct of soap and glycerin, and that soap is what we use to clean with. Now, that doesn't damage your seasoning. Lye will damage your seasoning, but soap will not. If it used to damage the seasoning, then it would also damage their hands when they clean it. Once you got everything off, what I do is I just dry it out with a paper towel or with a rag or something like that, and then I just hang it on the wall to store it. Some people will oil their skillets before they store it or hang it on the wall. Um, the oil, what it's going to do, yeah, it does protect your seasoning and your cast iron, but if you don't use it within like a week or two, that oil can become rancid and it will make it really sticky. And then your food could actually end up sticking. And you got to clean it again before you use it. Also, the oil, it attracts dirt and dust. I just don't like that. If you just dry it thoroughly and hang it on the wall, your seasoning and your pan's going to be just fine and intact.